I'm Travis Rice, excited to talk about the Pinnacle. This is the carbon predator. This is the Apex Orca. This board is a carbon snowboard. It has a treasure trove of technology put into this thing. We don't make a lot of these because it takes a lot to build one of these boards, but we hope that we build enough. All right, there's a lot to get through, so we're gonna go kind of quick here. The base profile, C2X on this board. That means you have a little bit more aggressive rocker in between the feet. The aggressive classic Orca tail, whale tail technology, dagger camber from the back foot to the tail, which, you know, this is the key component and differentiator of the Orca, is how this tail is built. It is essentially taking everything that's great about a short-tailed, a little bit wider fish-style snowboard and giving it a predatory take with an actual power tail. I mean, what is this board summed up in a slogan? Not your gutless fish. Whale tail technology, baby. This kicktail is synonymous with the unique profile that is the Orca. Where the Apex Orca kind of goes above and beyond is when you start to get into literally everything around the making of this snowboard. So for the base, you have 20% aspen, you've got 30% paulownia, which is an extremely fast-growing, very sustainably sourced wood. You have 40% PET recycled plastic in the snowboard, and 10% balsa. This board is quite a bit lighter than the Orca, and one of the ways that we really focus is on these lightweight, slim tips, as a gram in between your feet is not the same as a gram out on the tip of your snowboard. It's one of the reasons we don't have full metal wrap edges. We want to keep these lightweight so that you can move quick, as predators need to move quicker than their prey. So why is there recycled plastic in the core of my snowboard? So that's actually a super lightweight foam that there's these pockets that are strategically placed in the core of this board that are this recycled foam. And that is one of the ways that we get this board so much lighter. The other way is adding carbon into the construction of this. So, you know, it still has a triaxial fiberglass weave, but on top of that, it's also got a spread toe carbon, and it also has a 33-degree carbon mesh. For me, one of the reasons I love this board so much is that, you know, you can really see the carbon in the top sheet. And it actually, because we really ghost out the top sheet, you know, gives some opacity into this graphic, which the graphic was designed and intended to be with a top sheet like this. Andrew Schultz was kind enough to do this graphic for this board specifically. He did the entire Orca line. This board, it's almost kind of, you have to appreciate it in person, truly, because the graphic really lines up with the carbon mesh. The top sheet is a eco-sublimated BioBean top sheet. Again, like, I can't say enough of good things about zero hazardous waste, eco-friendly manufacturing that Mervyn has 4 decades into creating. And truly the most phenomenal, you know, ecologically conscious manufacturing facility for bitching boards the world over. So this board is synonymous with the Orca, so if you want some more details on kind of what the Orca is, I totally recommend you watch this video about the Orca. For the Apex, the additional things that I'll tell you are, you know, because of the lightweight, like hyper snap, the just feedback machine that this thing is. You know, I ride it a little differently than I do, say, the Orca. A lot of board companies have on offer carbon snowboards. I think it's worth noting that for years, LibTech resisted making a carbon snowboard simply because, as you know, I mean, carbon is very rigid. It's why, you know, it's in high performance sailboats, race cars, you know, so on and so forth. It's because it's rigid. But with that rigidity, you feel every little bump, every little shock wave. So one of the things I'll touch on is that the reason that this took so many years to develop was, how do you make a damp carbon snowboard? That's the beauty of wood core snowboards, and why they're so tried and true is because with wood, you have this dampening effect that, you know, reduces the little impacts and shock waves of riding, you know, some pounded out resort in the afternoon. Majority of time we're probably riding bumpy resort riding versus just like pristine, untracked powder or fresh groomer. So this board is uncompromising in all components. Now, the way that it is manufactured, the way that the layers within the carbon interact with each other, this is, I think, the dampest carbon board that you'll find on the market. And so this board still does work in all conditions great. However, this board excels and was designed for those pristine conditions or early morning groomers. To be frank, if I was going to go bell to bell, have fun, which I often do on a pounded out resort, I would probably ride the Orca if I had them side by side. But when it comes to like carving fresh corduroy or riding backcountry, side country conditions, that's where this board excels. I mean, that's what the uncompromising nature of this design and the principles that went into this design were focused.